He wakes up in an unfamiliar place and wonders if he is dead. He then feels some wood touching to his hands and concludes he might be inside a coffin. But if he was put in a coffin, he must be dead. But he is not. He can't remember anything. He thinks first he will have to get out of here. Since this is wood, he can just break it. And starts punching the wood. And he then sees the honey is coming out of the cracks, and it's a mysterious honey. His wound heals instantly. He then again starts punching the wood, thinking that this honey can quench his thirst, hunger, and will heal his wounds. He can't figure out how much time has passed while punching, but finally he gets out of that place and arrives at a weird place. There was a drain with honey flowing in it. There is also a hole and a steel window that are blocked. And then a message appears in front of him, congratulating him that he has escaped from the dungeon tutorial. And also, that he have entered dungeon 1, and a total of 90 people can enter the next dungeon. He is confused and shocked at the same time. And then appears a message saying he will have to choose a name that will be used for streaming. He wonders if he is sucked into some strange game, and says please save me. And these words becomes his nickname for his channel. And then appears a comment window, where the first viewer joins him in his stream, making fun of his nickname. He opens the settings of his channel, and there he sees all his information. He sees that he was in the coffin for 306 days. He asks the viewer if he is dead. The viewer replies he is dead but not dead at the same time. He asks the viewer one last thing, if he can go back to the place where he came from after escaping this place. The viewer replies he don't know, but if he can't make it within top 90, he will be dragged out by the administrator and he will need to meet to the king of hell. In the meantime, a new viewer joined, and he concluded that he will have to entertain people in order to survive by receiving balloons from them. He introduces himself as Insung to the viewers. That newly joined viewer makes fun of him. TS asked them how he can get out of this place. Viewers inform him that they are not allowed to tell this type of information to the streamers and that they will have to figure this on their own. PS then says that he bashed his way through fists, so he will do the same with the wall of this room. Viewers are shocked that he broke the coffin with his fists, and also says that he just needed to push the wood above him to come out. So one of the viewer gives him 7 balloons. PS thanked him, and starts to think how he can escape from there. Then we see that PS is cutting the steel bars and had already cut one, and in the meantime a player known as Instant Beauty has already escaped and entered the next dungeon. Another message appears that she will receive a F rank random skill book box as she is first. PS is tired and frustrated as he is cutting those steel bars for more than 10 days now. All his viewers also left. And then he receives another message that another player has entered the next dungeon, and 15 more people can enter the next dungeon. But then he gets an idea and collects the wood, destroying the coffin. Viewers joins his stream and are confused. They passes various comments. But PS produces fire with that wood. In the next moment his hairs are on fire. And the viewers are also excited, so everyone gifts balloons to him. And then he uses his head's fire and move under the rock that blocked one way. It moves and fell down. Viewers are confused and asks PS what is he doing. So PS explains that it was not a rock as it was moving a little, that was barely noticeable. Rather, it was a turtle. PS also says that his guess of 10 symbols of longevity was right, and proceeds to move out from the space. And there he enters a treasure dungeon, and a message also appeared that he will be transported to the next dungeon in 2 hours. PS thinks that he needs to be careful as everything here is for a reason. First he picks up a silver coin, but it was a fake. He then picks a sword, but isn't satisfied. He thinks there is a possibility that he can find a hidden item. So he starts searching for it, but was not able to find any. But then he thinks that he needs to eat in order to survive first. So he gets a bread. But the turtle was also asking for some food. So he gives it to the turtle. When the turtle opened his mouth, PS notices a crystal-like thing. He takes it out and finds that it's known as the orb of capture, which can domesticate a wild animal. But on the other side, that turtle ate all his bread. And PS thinks if the 10 symbols of longevity applicable here. And then he gets excited and feeds that orb to the turtle. Viewers are also shocked why he did that. And then a message appears saying, he have captured a giant turtle spirit. Then the turtle reverts back to his base form. Viewers are shocked that it was a mythical creature. Then viewers super chatted him balloons. PS thanks them. But suddenly he fell unconscious. He wakes up in the next dungeon as it said that he will automatically be transferred to the next dungeon. There are chicks present and the same honey is flowing. And the ceiling of the room was quite high, but there was a gap on the top. He thinks that chickens aren't part of 10 symbols of longevity, so his theory is a failure. Then he wakes up suddenly and starts crushing the wall. Viewers are also enjoying this scenery, but he opens the shop thinking he might get a clue on how to clear this dungeon. There was many things available including the chicken feed, so he concludes that he will have to raise these chicks. First he increases the number of viewers to 20 by using 50 speech bubbles. Balloons were converted to speech bubbles when he entered this dungeon. Time have passed, and the chicks are grown now. Viewers are bored as he is not doing anything other than feeding chickens. The remaining viewers are also passing various comments, bullying him. But PS feeds the chickens again. And in the meantime, a player have escaped and received the skill book box. The next day, chickens have laid eggs as they were all female chickens. PS eats all of them and he becomes super muscular and starts to crack the walls. But the walls are not cracking. He uses the turtle to heal his wounds as his hands are wounded. He thinks this is not working. Only if he could fly, he might had a chance, and gets an idea. He then plucks out all the feathers of the chickens and puts raw eggs on himself. Viewers are also excited. He then attached the feathers to his body by using eggs as glue, and jumps in order to reach upwards. He is just about to reach, but suddenly falls down. He is also wary about the situation. The reason he could not fly was because these were not his own wings. He then gets an idea that in order to provide life force to the feathers, he can apply this mysterious honey as it provides life force. He applies it and feathers attach themselves to his skin, like his own feathers, and then buys a rope from the shop and ties his hands to the feathers in order to stabilize them. He then says to the viewers that his theory was right and the present theme is crane. He then jumps with his full power and is able to fly now, so he then reaches the ceiling easily. Viewers are also praising him, and his #1 fan Self-Reflection 469 also donates him a total of 100 speech bubbles. PS is happy, and one of the viewers comments that Yama is probably watching him. PS gets surprised and questions if he is actually watching, but the guy was kidding. They didn't know, but it was actually the case, as Yama was watching and finds PS very interesting. PS is spacing out, looking at the chickens. He then jumps down and feed them food, and also put a few chickens in his bag, and again flies to the top. He then enters the next dungeon, so he gets the special reward for entering the dungeon first. In it, he receives a skill book which strengthens focus. He quickly learns it. He then walks into the next trial, and purchases an armor first, as he thought this place might be dangerous. When he enters the place, suddenly a giant axe comes swinging towards him at a great speed, but due to his skill book's ability, he dodges the attack. He concludes that this is a passageway with traps, and he gets hit by an arrow, but his armor blocks it. He then throws it away and says to the viewers that this might become a little boring. He then feeds the chickens he brought and eats as many eggs as he can. He becomes powerful than before. He ate 20 eggs and also strengthened his skills, so he is confident now that he will survive. He rushes towards the way, carrying the chickens in a bag. He avoids the first axe trap and rushes forward. When arrows are shot at him, he throws the chickens in the air to protect himself, and then a spear comes towards him, but he blocks it with his bare hands. Viewers are also enjoying the show, and then he uses that spear to block the arrow attacks. He also gets several hits, but he didn't stop. He reaches the safe zone and was almost at his limit, so he falls unconscious and wakes up a day later. There he finds a big door which was the way for the next dungeon. There he notices a space for a keyhole, which looks like the tip of the arrow that first attacked him. He regrets his decision of throwing it away, and thinks he cannot go back now, and suddenly he gets a message that Instant Beauty has entered the dungeon that he is in, and also a new item has been added to the store through which he can talk to other players. So he messages Instant Beauty, and Instant Beauty also replies to him, but when she was talking, that first arrow attacks her, damaging her. Her viewers becomes angry on the arrow and she throws it. But PS asks if she is busy. She replies that she just got hit by an arrow. PS makes a deal with her to exchange information. He asks her how did she pass the previous dungeon. She replies she escaped with a rope. PS concludes that there are more than one methods to pass a dungeon trial, and he says to her that arrow was the key for the entrance of the next dungeon. She also regrets her decision. Her viewers are angry on PS and gifts her many balloons. She then jumps into the honey to find that arrow. On the other side, PS is thinking of a way to escape, but is confused. Later on he gets an idea, by seeing in bamboo arrow, that there might be a way to escape with the help of bamboos, as there is sand and growth chemical available in the store for this stage. So he buys that chemical and then uses it on the bamboos, and suddenly the bamboo starts growing at an instant pace. He sees the entrance for the next dungeon but says to his viewers that he isn't stopping here, and continues to grab the bamboos, and reaches the ceiling. There he noticed some metal hanging and concluded that he might find a hidden item, and he was right. He found a tunnel which consisted of an item. He jumps down and shows the viewers what he found there. It was a heavenly bamboo fruit. It consists of life force and can greatly increase health. He puts it in his inventory and proceeds for the next dungeon. He falls down in a pathway, and after some time enters the next dungeon. On the other hand, Instant Beauty has already found the arrow and a stairway to enter the safe zone. Upon entering the new dungeon, PS gets the first entrance reward. This time he receives a skill book, Iron Will, which can boost his stats when he is just about to die, so he learns it anyways, and receives a message that he can summon a manager. So everyone is thinking who he will summon. He summons his #1 fan who is supporting him from the very beginning. That is Self-Reflection 469. That's it for today, guys. I will upload the next part in a few days. In the meantime, you can check the other amazing recaps that I have uploaded. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.